Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the show, where we interview the nation's leading real estate entrepreneurs. Welcome back to the show if you're joining us for a second, third, or 100th time. And welcome if it's your first year in for a real treat today. I've got a duo. I've got Omer and Kimberly Ashkenazi, and we are going to be talking about a dream today. And so how we get into this is going to be a great start. And just remember, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted, to allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. With that being said, Omer, Kimberly, welcome to the show.
Hi, Steven. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get into our conversation today, talking about how to maximize potential and really just talking about a dream, which is what you two are building in the real estate space. Before we get into all that, though, can you give our listeners just a little bit of a background, how you got started in real estate, what that process was like, and then what's gotten you to where you're at today?
Well, I'm Israeli, and in Israel, the cost of living is very high, and the salaries are very low. For example, an average apartment will cost about $300,000, and the average rent will be maybe $1,000. And when I was in my early 20s, I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad that really, light a fire and thought myself, man, maybe different life is possible. Maybe I can own a lot of real estate. And I met Kimberly about the same time. He's American. And we decided to move here to start building our dream, which is we want to be full-time real estate investors. We want to have a passive income portfolio that's continue to grow without us doing anything. And in the last, I don't know, more than 10 years, we are building ourselves. We're building our dream. And I don't know, getting closer every day.
I would say a few things. One is, like he's describing, from an early stage, we knew as young people, when we're looking at the future and what could it possibly hold for us, to me, real estate was a great opportunity in the US, is what I'm saying, and other parts of the world, but really looking at how real estate, how it's done, what happens with it over time when you're an owner, obviously how it's treated from a tax perspective. That's a huge part of it. But to me, real estate was like a beautiful key to building long-term wealth. And so from an early stage, we have been thoughtful about how we're building our business together, looking for synergy, looking for a way. I heard on a podcast, I think, a Bigger Pockets years ago. We listened to so much Bigger Pockets early on. Oh my gosh. And the person being interviewed said what really drove him was laziness. He just, was always doing something creative and always very, almost kind of a hustler because he felt lazy. He just wanted to create a business where he could kind of take his hands off.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So, we love how with real estate, if you're thoughtful and just if you keep going, it's a great way that as it gets bigger and bigger to a certain point, depending on the type of real estate you do, it can be more hands off. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And also, I don't think that our goal never changed. So since we started, it's the same goal. Maybe different ways to get it, but we're always focusing, like we stayed very focused on what we want to do and how we want to do it.
What is that goal?
Is to have a passive income portfolio that, keep growing without us doing anything to it. So do a lot of work now, and then it's just like planting a tree, we want to provide enough shade. So it's taking some time, but then once the tree is growing up, it's just going to keep growing without us doing anything to it. The roots are big enough, are deep enough.
Why is passive income important to y'all?
Because it's going to free our time. We're not going to be slaves to money. And, it's a short ride here. And life is a short ride, and we want to enjoy it as much as possible. And passive income can free us. We can spend more time with our kids. We can actually give them something when we move on, and just have a better life.
The biggest asset is time.
The biggest asset is
That's the
time.
point. Yeah.
Don't know how much of
agree.
those we have.
You bet. Now, Kimberly, let me ask you this, because you got this stud over here that comes to you one day and it's like, I'm quitting my job. You know what I mean? And like, we're gonna do real estate. What were you? Did you have a background in real estate previous to this, or like, what was that like when Omer came to you and it's like, we're doing real estate? What was that like? Was that a long series of conversations, or was it like hey, we're going all in? How did that process, and what were you feeling and thinking during that season?
Well, we had from the beginning been working towards that. That had been the goal. So he got a job, I got a job, but we always wanted those jobs to be in something that would support our real estate goals. So initially he was in construction work. So our portfolio is in residential, but that gives him a good understanding of what we're dealing with. My first job was really more like learning the community, because we wanted to understand we invest near us. Most of our portfolio is within an hour drive. So my first job was working within the community. And then after that, I worked at various jobs in housing for a few years. But I mean, I would say the fact that I was 9 months pregnant and he was like, all right, that's it, I'm quitting and jumping in with 2 feet. That was kind of interesting timing, but that's okay. I mean, the beautiful thing, and any time that I meet young people, especially if they're pre-kids or early, before they started having kids, like, oh my gosh, take advantage of this time, because this is when you can burn the midnight oil. You can just like work, 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 work. And there's not, a crying mouth that you have to stop and feed, or, you don't have that obligation that you absolutely have to prioritize that. You can't say, sorry, baby, I have to go take this phone call, So, but when you're before that time, then that's the opportunity to take the risks, and like just make the magic happen, and more creative and risky things that it's much harder to do as you have children and get a little older.
And also, like, I thought you pushed me to quit, but it doesn't matter.
Probably.
Yeah. Also, you can always find another job. You cannot
Yeah.
always just go and start your business. Like life gets in
Mm.
the way. And like right now we have, it will be more complicated to go and start a business when you have 3 kids, not just one. So yeah, I quit my job when Kimberly was 9 months pregnant with our firstborn.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And because we came here to build our business, not someone else.
And I believe in him. And I believe in me. And I feel like that anytime we're either building our own dream or we're building someone else's.
Yep.
Well, that resonates a lot with me too, because if kind of like we were sharing before we hopped on the show, for even me right now, I have a 2.5-year-old and a literal 1-month-old baby.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
Good time.
thanks. But so to the exact point of what you mean, it's like that changes so much so quickly.
Yeah.
And I have 4 kids total, but those are my 2 newest, right?
Wow.
And to your exact point, like that does take away from your ability to do things without sacrificing something else that might be more important. Because at the end of the day, life isn't meant to just be worked all the way through. It's meant to be experienced and meant to be enjoyed. And so to your point, I would just really stress that for anybody that doesn't have kids yet, especially couples that work well together, because that's another dynamic you two have seemed to be able to figure out, is being actual partners. Oh man. So and I guess that would lead right into my next question is like, how important has it been for y'all to prioritize your relationship versus the business itself as well? Because I think sometimes we
You
get
didn't tell
lost
me
and
this
that's all we
question
talk
was going to
about.
be on the interview. Oh my goodness.
I didn't know it was going to be on the interview until I asked it.
Go ahead.
Let me see. So a memory that I have is in the first house we lived in, which first of all, we bought at a short sale. The house fell through, came back on the market, and we were very lucky to get it. It was just this great little home. But it had a large bedroom. It was a townhouse, and the whole top floor was the master bedroom. And so our office was in our bedroom, which I hate that mixing energy. I mean, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
but that was the season, right? And so even now, it has taken time and discipline to prioritize our relationship and draw the line when necessary. Because it is very easy to constantly first of all, as our own business owners and, small business, it's easy to work 24/7. This person calls and that person texts, and if he's not answering, in some instances, there's someone else that will take over. In many instances, following up on a lead or closing a deal, that's him. And so it's hard to draw that line and be like, you know what? It's 6 p.m. on Friday. That needs to wait, regardless of what it is. And for our relationship, some things that we have learned with time is now we're very fortunate that we have a babysitter that is regularly scheduled. She's scheduled 1 day a week, I'd say 3 weeks out of the month, where she picks him up from school, and we use that as just a regular date night on a Monday night. But most Mondays by far. And we used to, when we would close the deal, we would go to a nice restaurant every time. But I certainly remember the conversations early on where it was a disagreement that it wasn't a priority, our relationship. And so it's a work in progress. And I think like anything, your relationship or your business or anything, it's got to be iterative. You got to be paying attention to what's going on and adjust to optimize.
So to answer your question, it's extremely important. It's not easy to work with your spouse, and There's nothing more important than your marriage.
You
And
bet.
yeah.
And we have had the conversation before where I told him, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with that part of the business. This is not good for us. Because you absolutely find yourselves in those moments of like,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
wow, we're having a disagreement about something work related. And if we weren't, if this were just a work relationship, that'd be annoying. But since this is also our marriage, like we have to figure out how to put it in its place. So it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And at first we did everything together. With every small decision, every single thing. I need to ask Kimberly need to ask Omer, what kind of color, what kind of, and now everybody has his lane. Everybody picks what he's good at or what his competitive advantage is.
Yeah.
And we just stick to it and we just complement each other. But
Yeah.
it takes time. You need to figure it out.
Sure. Man, if you didn't like me asking that question, you're gonna hate the follow-up. So, with you, because and this is speaking so much to me because my wife and I are very similar. Like we've been, I mean, basically business owners the last 3 years, and so whatever I'm dealing with, whatever we're talking about, it seems like most of the conversation sometimes even revolves around work when you're together and there's no kids.
Oh yeah.
You. How do you shut that off to actually create engaging like relationship with one another, but also shut work completely off? Or do you fall into that trap of just talking about it and that's all you talk about? What does that look like for y'all? So I think that's something a lot of couples struggle with, myself and my wife included.
I think it's easy to fall into it. It just needs to be a decision. Like we're going out to lunch or dinner and we're not going to talk to them. That's it. Figure it out. We're just not going to do this. And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I would say this is a little more my field too, is putting in the intentional effort to create the non-work opportunities.
Give me an hour and when we're working on it together.
Yes, right. I hope that's exactly what I said. But also any relationship, marriage, whatever relationship, when you are raising children together and you're also busy, this is a different version of that same kind of trap where you get into the rhythm where the only thing you're talking about is kid logistics. It's like, who's picking up? Who's putting down? Did you get this? And so to create those moments where you are spending positive time together, you're not just, ending up together at night when you're exhausted or, giving each other a kiss on the way out the door. You have to carve out that time. And I would say really it has been such a help that we schedule it once a week, that it's automatically scheduled. It's been a relief that it just automatically comes up, but also I think it's very helpful to experience things together. So it's been newer for us. Yeah, I would say, but like go to take a hike somewhere, or if you can go on a vacation, even with the family, but getting yourself out of our office is also at home. And so it's important for us to enjoy time together, either as a couple or as a family outside of the physical environment as well, to create the positive experiences when your mind is a little more free to think about things other than work. However, I mean, it's not possible that a day goes by that we don't talk about work. Certainly not at this stage.
We're still at the building stage.
So just remember to have fun while you're at it. Yeah, work is work and you got to put limits, but just to have fun. Don't take it seriously. It's just work.
Yep.
Love it. Let's talk a little bit more about the dream. What is the dream for you all? Don't speak at the same time now.
Uh,
Don't fight over who goes first.
For me, the dream is having control over our time.
Mm.
Be comfortable, doing things efficiently, teaching our kids, sharing with them our values, and teaching them that the value of not being a sheeple, that there's the way that it appears that things can be, well, there's one way to do things, which is the obvious way, or there are certainly more efficacious ways to be a little creative and do things a little differently. And yes, you get laughed at, and yes, you might fall, but then it's way more efficient. Pareto all day. So, but control over our time.
well, I'll tap into this and I'll say like the dream for me looks like a lot of options. Take money out of the equation of life, and now you have a lot of time. You don't need to go to work. You don't need to worry about anything that's financial and related. You want to go on a vacation? Let's go on vacation. You want to go there for a week? Let's do this. You
Yeah.
want to explore life? Let's do this. You
Yeah.
have just a lot of options, and you just choose whatever makes you feel good. You want to go to work? Go to work. You want to close deals? Go close deals. You don't want to do that? That's fine too. But you have 100% control on your life. For me, this is you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do.
And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's
What
all
are-
related to time and choices.
What are some of those tangible things that having, like, if somebody just dropped 500 million in your lap tomorrow, right? And obviously, if you had that, you threw it in a market, you'd make 8 figures a year just on returns, never have to work again. What would you be doing a week from now? If that was the case, what would you actually be doing? How would life change for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very similar to But we don't have the 500 million, but
Well, because we're taking money out of the equation, right? So we're just saying, okay, awesome, because that's what we just talked about. Like, we want to take money as an equation of we don't have, it has no control over you. So what would you do differently if you didn't have to work? What would life look like at that point? What would you be doing? What would you
people will
be?
travel more.
Mm,
We will travel more with, expose our kids to different culture, to, different segments of the world. What I
And
see.
and I would say that more of our time would be spent giving back,
Yes.
either just through volunteer work or anything that we have learned, sharing it with others.
Yep.
But spending more time in service.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
give more. We will get more. All this kind of stuff. We're just going
I love that.
Yeah,
I've been
cool.
asking people for the better half of a decade, when I talk to people who say, I just love my job. And I'm like, oh, you do? And I'm like, would you do it for free? And they go, well, no, because I got to pay my bills. And I'm like, oh, so you just really like it? And they go, well, yeah. And I'm like, so why don't you go get rich and take money out of the equation and then just go do it for free if you love it so much and
Yep.
do it as a service to people? But then also have the control of what you're doing on a Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Because, like, ultimately, that's what it's all about, right? Like, the ultimate vision, I think a lot of why we get into real estate investing is for that ultimate dream of having complete control of time and money not having control of us.
Yeah.
Amen.
And this has been proven as being one of the best vehicles to create
Yeah.
wealth. Like this is
Yeah.
why, real estate has so many benefits.
100%. You bet. So so with what you're building right now, what does day to day look like for you, and what are you building in this current moment? You have a couple different wings that you focus on within your business. So what's like the main priority for you guys right now in the next 12 to 18 months, let's say?
Well, that's a great question. I can answer it out of my sleep. So right now we have a lot of open projects that we purchased to as a hold, a lot of units that we're turning around. And we are doing the BRRRR every time. So we buy, we fix, and then we have it a cash out refi and then going to the next. So our day to day at the moment, at least for me, I will go to the job sites about 3 times a week. Go check in, see what's going on. take care of everything that I need to take care of. For example, the city didn't give us this permit, or I still manage as my own GC, and we're using subcontractors. So I'm running the jobs, and I'm running the leads that are coming in. So there will be someone who wants to sell. I'll go and check this out. Try to close more deals. And at the moment, we're doing more wholesaling until we'll finish our projects. And yeah, so if something comes in, so I am not a big fan of the shotgun method of lead generation. So I prefer some people getting 100 leads a day or 100 leads a week. And then you need to shuffle through all the noise, and then maybe you're going to close, I don't know, 2 deals. I prefer to get 10 leads and close 1. So our lead system is kind of different. We're not getting too many leads, but what we're getting is very quality. So we're not chasing up that much. So people that want to talk to us. So that's something we're focusing on, again, also like to free our time. Again, I don't want to talk to 100 people with 80 of those that have no intention. So then my day-to-day, running the jobs, try to close deals. Your day-to-day, Kimberly?
Day-to-day work-wise, I don't know, it's changed a lot. Because now with the 3 young kids, a lot of my time is spent with that. And until very recently, even in the last year, I was definitely the front person in managing banking relationships. But we're
I'm
at
just the face,
and underwriting. But he has gotten really solid with both of those. Good job. But we are at a place now where we want, at least for the next, it's interesting that you asked 12 to 18 months, because over the next, I would say 12 to 24 months, we want to just stabilize what we have, and take a little bit of time to just like optimize, tighten things up. I'm starting to work with our attorney and CPA about restructuring our entities a little bit. And so just, tighten up loose ends, but just kind of cruise, just take some time to not, be on the chase for a little bit. And then for me personally, after doing that for a little bit, I want to, what we have is primarily small multifamilies. And I want to sell what we have in Maryland, maybe not everything, but a lot of it, and relocate our portfolio to Pennsylvania or Virginia. So I'm saying that as my personal ambition of something we might get into in, 18 months or 2 years. He is thrilled about this. For anyone that might be watching this, his face is just saying how much he supports my plan. So I'm gonna check back in a year, we'll and he'll be like,
I love it. Well, man, we're already coming up on our time here, and this has been such a great show. But before we kind of wrap up, let me ask you one last question, and then we'll probably have you come back for a part 2 or something like that.
Love it.
If you had to go back to the beginning of when you got started, but you could take all the lessons and all of the losses, the wins, the good and the bad, and you had to do it all over again when you started with all that knowledge, what would you do different and what would you do the same?
I think if possible, I would just do things faster, a little bit faster. But I think that we have been very thoughtful and we've done a great job. Honestly.
You're right. But let me tell you my thing. And it's funny that you ask it, because I told it to so many people. Some people come and ask me for advice, and I always say, like, if I would have started from the beginning, here's what I would do. So we came here very motivated to buy as many units as fast as possible. So if I would have started over with the knowledge that I have today, I would have bought a 4-unit apartment building with an FHA, like the 0.2% down, or what is it?
3%, I think.
The 3% down, 4 units, and I would have done it every 2 years, I would have bought 4 more units. So in 6 years, I would have had 12. You know, you need to live in 1 unit,
And you
rent the other
live in
3. Yes, I would.
But
Before
how
we
can
have
you do
kids.
that? I'm not living with you.
Okay, I would have found a different wife. I'm just kidding. Never.
Oh,
Never. But if you want to get, you know,
kids?
3 kids. 3 kids, you find a place that you like, you buy, you live in 1 unit, you rent the other 3. Every 2 years, you buy this for, I don't know, 4, 6 years. And then you have 12 units. And then on those 6 years, you keep learning, you're going to meetups, and you start applying. But then you have a base. You have 3% down on 12 units. And now you have the base. You can even not do anything for the next 10 years and you'll still be fine. Go find a job, you
You're
have
gonna
a side
move
business.
every 2 years.
If I don't have kids,
Small multifamily.
if I don't have kids, 100%. 100%.
I think that's a reasonable thing to do like once or twice, but it's just
It depends what your goal. If your goal is to buy as many units as soon as possible and you don't have, and you know, and you're just getting started in your 20s, I don't think there is a better route. You
I
can go and
agree.
buy anything. You can use the system for 3%, 4 units. Just live it for a year or 2, go buy another 4 units. So that's what I will do if you want to get as many units as fast as possible and your wife supporting that idea.
You bet. Love that. And just to throw it out there, Kim, I moved 5 times in 3 years. I've now been in one place for the longest I've been in it since pre-COVID. So that's yeah, it's not fun. I would have rather had movers every single time, but you know, it is what it is. And hey, if it was going to make me wealthy, I don't know, maybe I would probably take that advice if I was still in my younger 20s, but
Yep.
well,
And
y'all,
something else, you know, to your listeners, if you're just getting started, just be focused and don't give up. Don't give
yeah.
up, you'll succeed. Because it's maybe simple. We don't say it might be simple, but it's not easy.
ask questions, invite people to coffee.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that helped me was a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So
Find someone that you like their day to day.
and
Figure out how to spend time with them.
and do what you want to do. And they will teach you.
You bet.
Or if you want to do wholesaling, don't get a mentor that does only buy and hold.
Right. Well, Omer, Kimberly, thanks so much for joining us today. If anyone wants to learn more about you, what you're working on, where should they go for that?
Well, we have a Facebook page. It's AKO House Buyers. I don't know if you can add it to your notes. And that's about it. That will be probably the best place.
There you
AKO
go.
House Buyers.
There you go.
.com or on Facebook. A is in Apple, K is in kite, O is in octopus.
Or Ashkenazi Kimberly Omer. Also,
Ashkenazi, Kim, and Omer.
Awesome. Well, y'all, you've heard it here first. Hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you got as much value out of it as I did, I know you'll be off to the races. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.